Hello, everyone. Today's story is both heartbreaking and deeply complex, shining a light on one of the most emotional battlegrounds in America's ongoing immigration debate. The title says it all. As Guatemalan kids sit in planes on tarmac, judge orders they stay in the U.S. for now. Let's break down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what could come next. This weekend, a federal judge stepped in and blocked the Trump administration from deporting hundreds of Guatemalan children who had been placed on planes in Texas. These were unaccompanied minors, kids who crossed the border without parents or guardians. According to attorneys representing the children, more than 600 of them were removed from those planes and returned to the custody of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, instead of being flown out of the United States. Attorneys argued that these children's legal rights were being violated. They said the administration was trying to push them out of the country without allowing them the due process guaranteed under U.S. law, meaning no chance to appear before a judge, no real chance to make their case for protection. For many observers, the situation was described as not only unlawful but also cruel. Imagine being 7 years old, sitting on a plane for hours, not knowing where you're going or why, and not even being allowed to speak to a judge. That was the reality for many of these children. The federal judge who intervened ordered the government to immediately stop all efforts to transfer, deport, or repatriate these minors. The ruling made it clear that until further review, these children must remain in the U.S. while their cases are heard. The Trump administration, however, defended its actions. Officials insisted they were responding to a request from Guatemala to reunite these minors with their families back home. But the judge wasn't convinced, pointing out that the stories coming from both sides did not line up. More importantly, he raised concerns that sending these children back could expose them to harm. Without clarity, he said, the U.S. cannot simply deport them. This decision comes just days after another major immigration ruling, when a different federal judge blocked the administration's expansion of expedited removal. That policy allowed immigrants to be detained and deported quickly, often without seeing a judge or having time to find an attorney. Critics argued it stripped away fundamental legal protections. The court agreed, calling it unlawful. At the same time, the political firestorm over immigration is only heating up. Over the weekend in Alabama, Republican Congressman Barry Moore was heckled after claiming that non-citizens do not have the right to due process in the U.S. His remarks were met with immediate pushback, with critics pointing out that the Constitution protects all people under U.S. jurisdiction, not just citizens. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is signaling that more aggressive immigration enforcement is on the way. ABC News reported that federal officials plan to ramp up operations in cities like Chicago as early as this week. But local leaders, including Chicago's mayor, are refusing to cooperate. She said the city will not allow its police officers to be used as immigration enforcers, insisting their focus must remain on tackling crime, not carrying out mass deportations. This all ties back to a central promise made by Donald Trump during his campaign, mass deportations. He has long argued that removing large numbers of undocumented immigrants will secure the border and protect American communities. But what we're seeing now is the real-world consequence of that policy. Legal battles, divided communities, children in limbo, and a nation wrestling with the question of how far immigration enforcement should go. For the Guatemalan children at the center of this case, the immediate crisis is over. They will not be deported, at least not yet. They are now back in U.S. custody, awaiting the chance to present their cases before an immigration judge. But the broader battle is far from finished. The administration is pushing forward. The courts are pushing back. And caught in the middle are vulnerable children who just want safety and a chance at a better life. So what's your take? Drop a comment below.